Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for my live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1, or as I should say, Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1, as the curse at Old Trafford continues, because we cannot win there to save our lives. And it's slightly disappointing. I can't lie. It's slightly disappointing. I'm not particularly happy with the performance either, but we will talk about that as a collective. As you can see, guys, it's myself, me, myself, and I again today. So I'll be very much interacting with you guys in the chat. I want you guys to be involved. I want you guys to give me your thoughts, share your ratings when we talk about that as well. So please be involved. I'd massively appreciate that. We can already see a fair few ratings in the chat. I might highlight them to go back to them later. But JC said, get Malo Gusto out of my club. Bit harsh, I feel like. That has to be the worst 45 minutes I've seen from a Chelsea player in a while. I mean, maybe. Ricky says one thing will always be true, and that's Laurenz being late to his own streams. Well, I'm not really late. I just set it to essentially 2 hours after kickoff. And then especially when there's late, undecidedness in a game, until the thumbnail's done, until the stream's done, until everything sets up, whatever else. I go to the toilet after the game, just normal things. But I hear you. Varner says Caicedo, top. Oh boy, Caicedo was phenomenal. Now, there was parts in the first half where good old Aaron in our group chat was like, Caicedo's been ass. Not quite sure whether I agree with that, but I see what no, to be honest, I don't even see what he was saying. But second half, boy, and overall, Caicedo was absolutely out of this world. Not just this goal, but my God, without Caicedo, we would have been screwed today. Absolutely screwed. Marno says Laurenz is pissed off for sure. How the flip did we drew that? I'm not sure if you mean how did we draw it instead of winning, or how did we draw it instead of losing? Because I mean, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but I didn't necessarily feel like we deserved to win the game, if I'm being honest. I think a draw is probably the fairest result out of this game, and if anyone could have won it, I felt it was probably more United than us. But yeah, Varna, we still can't win at Old Trafford. Ladies and gentlemen, get involved in the chat. I want you guys to talk to me. Let me know your feelings and your thoughts, but I mean, I'll share mine. Bloody hell. I don't even, that's my problem. I'm not 100% sure what my thoughts are. But we will evaluate that as we continue this stream. But just disappointing. It's just disappointing because what did I make of this game? Now, in the first half, I thought it was way too all over the shop. We could not keep the ball to save our lives. Like, we gave it away way too quickly. Now, you could see in moments that we didn't try to play poach ball and be straight attack every time we got the ball and play it direct and stuff. But you could still feel it a little bit within the players. I felt that that's really what they wanted to do. But in the grand scheme of things, like, you could see that we weren't trying to do that. But when we weren't trying to be quick, we just couldn't get attacks going. Like, we passed it around nicely. We got it to Maresca. We got it to Neto. But both of those in particular, Maresca just couldn't get past their man. The crosses 95% of the time got blocked, and then we, as usual, don't do anything out of corners. And then what happened the other few occasions? Well, we mess up in the final third, lose the ball, they hit us on the counter, and 95% of those we defended quite well, to be fair, but it was still continuously danger after danger after danger, which is what I didn't like. I still thought we had probably ever so slightly the upper hand. Obviously, Madueke hitting the post with his head quite early from one of those corners. Did Fofana push him in the back? Maybe. Did Colwill get kicked after by Martinez? Maybe. We will talk about those instances as well. Obviously, Marcus Rashford hitting the bar pretty much straight before halftime. That could have been easily a goal as well. What an effort that was, to be honest. And then we made changes at halftime. We actually brought on Cucurella for Malo Gusto. Changed it round. Reece James went to right back. Cucurella went to left back and attacking from that side. Not as much as Gusto, though, so it changed the situation. Like, Cucurella was clearly also given slightly different instructions to what Gusto had for me. And I guess we were a little bit better, but it still made it a little bit difficult, if you ask me. Do you know what I mean? Like, the second half, and eventually we get to that penalty moment, all right? Let's talk about this penalty moment for a second. First, Fofana misjudging the ball. Okay, should he jump? Was it really necessary? Not really, if I'm being honest. Did he have to do that? No, he should probably have judged it better. But what I don't understand after that is, why does Sanchez jump for a ball that was going to go out of play, or at least the player was running away from goal? I didn't really see the necessity or the use in that. Like, let me know, guys. What do you think? Do you also think that Sanchez had a bit of a howler there? Like, because some people are saying, well, he kind of has to do that, whatever. Does he? I mean, I would argue that he doesn't have to do it, but yeah, I mean, you let me know what you think of that. Let me get to a few more messages in the chat. Uze says, we fail to control games and our defense is always vulnerable. I mean, yeah, we do fail to control games. Then again, I'm like, Old Trafford is not a place where you just go and control games, is it? Even if I see what you mean. Why can't Lavia play full 90 and Reece can? Enzo is not cutting it. Well, that has a few different reasons. First is the way we're using Reece James. That's why it's Gusto that is doing all the attacking. That's why we're playing Reece and Gusto, or Reece and Cucurella, and not Reece and Cucurella and letting Reece attack, because Reece can't do that amount of running at the moment. He simply can't. Like, his legs would not sustain it. I'm not sure if he could do it for a half or 60 minutes. I'm not sure. But Lavia is obviously playing in one of the most intense positions on the pitch, being in central midfield. So I think that's purely it. Uzi says no Sancho, no party. I mean, I get it, I guess, but I mean, where was the party when Sancho played at Anfield? Because he was shocking. But yeah, obviously, first of all, he's ill anyway, and second of all, because he's loaned out from Manchester United. Even if we do have an option to buy, or an obligation to buy him. He wasn't allowed to play because he is on loan from Man United. Moises says Maresca and Palmer anonymous. Yeah, Maresca in particular. Well, yeah, I mean, both a little bit anonymous, to be honest. Let's not dwell on it, I guess. Horizon, I'm just going to call you Horizon, says Maresca and Gusto absolute shite. Well, cheers, mate. But yeah, they weren't great. Been 2 games, no Sancho, and we don't win. Actually, we won last weekend, where Sancho didn't play either. I'm just saying. Obviously, we didn't win in midweek, but yeah. But Sancho's been ill, so what can you do? Martinez and Ugarte should have been sent off tonight. Yeah, Ugarte for accumulation of fouls. I mean, he got booked early first half and then committed what felt like hundreds, if not dozens of fouls since. So I don't know about that. That's just mental. The Martinez one, I mean, you can give it. I don't think you have to. But also by that point, it made zero difference. Now, obviously, Martinez being suspended for, 1, 2, or 3 games, sure, that would have made a difference. But in general, the game wouldn't have changed in the last minute if he was sent off or not. Orison says, we are not top 4 contenders. Now, I think we very much are top 4 contenders, but yeah, each to their own. But dude just says, Enzo need to tone down on this overthinking, or what I called over tactic. Let all players in our regular positions. Yeah, bro, that the problem is that's not possible. That's part of the problem that you're talking about here. We can't just do that. Fofana and Sanchez both poor. See, on that penalty. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll get to that. Puzzle Live says, oops, apologies, back from pulling my hair out. Yeah, well, appreciate you, Puzzle Live TV, appreciate it. Banana says, after we lose next week, Maresca's record against the Big Six is going to be 0-4. Yeah, I mean, that is one of the conversations. We still haven't beaten a top team. Now, we beat Newcastle. Are they a top team? Debatable. But they beat Arsenal. So, kind of a top team. They also got a draw against City, but we beat Newcastle in the league. But obviously at home, like at James's Park, we probably won't win. Let's be honest. But yeah, like the top 6 record needs to improve. I don't disagree with that. And that is one of my kind of concerns at the moment. Like, I like the principles of how we're like trying to play football. I can see improvements in many players since Maresca's taken over. I can see us tactically improving. I like how the manager makes changes when things aren't working. For example, taking Gusto off at half-time today, bringing on Cucurella for him, changing it up. It's again a bit unfortunate that we were planning to do a double sub, a bit like that. I can't remember the game. Maybe it was Newcastle, where we meant to make a double sub, and just as the subs are getting ready to come on, we concede. So that was obviously annoying. But at the same time, unlucky. We're like, well, unlucky is maybe not the right word, but it wasn't like we were like under the cosh completely, and it was whatever. Like, it was one over the top ball, one cross. Fofana slightly misjudges it. Ball falls to, who was that even? Was it Garnacho? I'm pretty sure it was, but it might be somebody else, to be honest. And then Sanchez jumps for it. I mean, again, I'm intrigued to see what does everybody else think about this penalty. I guess we'll get to it in a minute when we get to the individual players. Playing Reece on the left feels like an absolute waste of his greatest attribute. I get what you're saying, Ricky, but Reece cannot and will not bomb forward anyway. So from that perspective, I don't think it really limits him that much. If anything, it opens his body up for diagonals and over the top balls, and he played one or two pretty good ones to Madueke. I think that is a different weapon to use Reece for. Haven't done it enough yet, I would say, but we've still done it to an extent. So I would keep that in mind. But I know we need to just accept this, guys. We need to accept that Reece James, I'm not sure if ever again, but at least for now, cannot do the running he's doing. Let's be happy that Reece played 390 minutes in a row now. Wait, was it even 3? Actually, he started 3 games in a row now and 290 minutes in a row. Obviously, he always misses the midweeks, but he still played 290 minutes in a row. You know how long ago it was that Reece James did that? So let's take it slow. Be happy that we're taking it slow. I get what you mean, Ricky, 100%, but I would still rather take it slow with Reece and let him play 90 minutes like that and be important in moments like that. Then have him be injured by overplaying him in positions that he needs to do more running in. Cranky Band says, Ugaka should have been sent off. How many fouls did he make today? Well, countless. I agree. I don't think Maresca can succeed with making Gusto the joke of the team. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's time, isn't it? It's time. Like, if Reece was fully fit, I'm very sure that Reece would be doing the job that Gusto is doing at the moment, and then Cucurella would play as left centre-back. That's what I think would be happening if Reece was at full capacity. But because he's not, we're having to use other players. Now, we used to use, earlier in the season, we used to use Enzo Fernandez high up the pitch. But now that Lavia is fit and Maresca thinks we're better and more stable and more physical with Lavia and Caicedo as a pairing, which is fair, but neither of them attack. So therefore, it needs to be the fullback that goes all the way up. And we have 3 options realistically in that. So you're not going to want it from Vega. Cucurella did it in the second half. Did he arguably do a better job than Gusto? Yeah, maybe, for sure. So maybe we should look at that a bit more for Cucurella, but Cucurella doesn't have the same pace as Gusto. The problem is when you give the ball away and you're essentially asking a fullback to be attacking midfielder and fullback at the same time, and you lose the ball high up and he needs to make that sprint back to be in position. Gusto's pace is what allows Gusto to play this role. Now, Cucurella can do it, but yeah, I just worry with Cucurella's recovery pace if he had to play that position. Cranky Ben says, big up Laurenz. I think we all saw this result coming. Yeah, to be honest, it could have been worse. Like, let's be real. I think we could have lost. And after going 1-0 down, I thought we would lose. So, I'll still take it. And thank you, Moises Caicedo, for that equalizer. What a goal it was. Paduja says, we looked a little untidy until Cucurella came in the second half. My point. Yeah, absolutely. We gave the ball away way too easily constantly. To be honest, I think that still applied when Cucurella was on the pitch, if I'm honest. But yeah, it's not Gusto's fault. It's just not the way he plays. He's just a normal right back, a great normal right back, not an inverted one. Yeah, okay. I had this down as 1-0 Chelsea, but then I forgot factor in Sanchez. Yeah, there you go. Also, Garnacho is a scrap. Oh my God, he's so awful, isn't he? He's so bad. Like, he should have scored. He had 2 absolute sitters today and bottled them both. At least the second one is an absolute sitter. Imagine if he was at my club, I'd be furious. He says we could have prime MSN and play prime Jose Ball. We still couldn't beat Man United. That's it. That's why I'm not going to be sat here and too upset and too critical of Maresca or too critical of any of the players. This is just how it goes. We've won the league and not won at Man United. That's just how it is. Of course, I want to, but yeah. Gabriel saying, I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying that he is not the player for the role he's being used for. What was your previous comment? I don't think Maresca, yeah. Like I say, I don't disagree, but the problem is it's caused by an issue that is difficult to solve because Maresca usually would like to invert the midfielder. Now, maybe if Reece can start doing that, it becomes a more valid option again. But if he wants to play Lavia and Caicedo and still have this base of a 3-2-4-1, there's no other way. Like, there's literally no other way. The only other thing you could do is make the right winger invert and then let the fullback, Gusto, essentially play as a right mid or as a right winger and push up that way. That's the only thing you could do. But, you can't. Maybe it'd be worth a try. But I'm not sure that would necessarily work better, if I'm honest. Varna, attack was pro today. I don't disagree. Bobby says, big up Laurenz, only just joining. Not sure if you spoke about playing the 2 same-footed fullbacks in the 3rd successive game. I haven't spoken about that in that context yet, but that is something that I will bring up. But then again, beginning of the season, I had no expectations of the club under this ownership. I would have predicted a draw for this fixture before the season. We simply aren't there yet. Yeah, you say that. I mean, if that is what you go by, winning at Old Trafford, we haven't been there in 11 years. So, make of that what you will. Chelsea released a remix of Thick of It. Bloody hell. Gusto seems hectic in the front third in recent weeks. Yeah, I agree with that. Because Gusto is technically quite tidy, and he can cross, he can pass, he can dribble. But at the moment, now that he's playing in this attacking mid position, he's just too untidy. Like you say, he's picking the wrong pass. He's playing a bad pass, choosing to shoot in the wrong moments. Not today, but in previous games. Why didn't we bring on Christo? Because he's useless. That's why. I mean, did you not watch him against Newcastle? I can't lie, bro. Bro, even Stevie Wonder saw us not beating Man United, is what I'm saying. I just think that if Cucurella plays his wing, we get better tactically. The problem is he wasn't on his wing in the second half. I mean, he was on his side, but he wasn't on his wing. How was Mudryk our only attacking substitution? Maresca fails again when facing another big club. Yeah, I mean, I just think fail is a bit strong because by that logic, not beating Man United away, every manager we've had since 2013 has failed. So that means Jose Mourinho, that means... who was after Jose? Was it Conte? Well, I guess Hiddink for a little while. I'm not sure if he played United away or if it was Jose. Conte, Sarri, Lampard, Tuchel, Potter, Poch. None of them beat Man United away. Now, sure, you can say failed again if you want, like the others all failed, if that's how you want to word it. But it's a bit more different. It's like not as easy as that, is it? Also, didn't we make a double attacking sub? No, we didn't, to be fair. You're right, yeah. Thoughts on Enzo's massive miss after Jackson's layoff? Yeah, it was a pretty poor miss. Now, it wasn't the easiest of John, just like he couldn't just shoot because he was blocked by 3 Man United players. But a player that's as good as Enzo Fernandez should hit a better chip and should score that chip, if I'm honest. Maresca doesn't like basketball games. Personally, I think we thrive in those types of games. Yeah, you think we thrive in those types of games because that's what we did on the Poch last year, and that's the only way we could do anything. Why no Felix and Christo? I mean, you could have tried Felix, I guess. I honestly saw 0 point in bringing in Kunkuan in this game, personally. Dawson says, we are good at playing basketball type of matches against well-drilled defenses we struggle to create. Yeah, exactly. But you need to give it time under this new manager to get better at that other thing. Because we did that last season. And that's what we got decent at. Like, let us get better at what we're trying to do as well. Like, I know people think, oh, yeah, but it's November already. We should be amazing already. I hear you, but, like, things take a little bit of time. I don't always want to go back to the Pep comparison, but Pep didn't win anything in his first season. Pep wasn't great with City in his first season. Pep constantly conceded silly goals with silly defensive issues in his first season. Klopp in his first season finished 8th. I'm not saying that's we should be happy with that, and we still have the minimum expectations of top 4. I guess kind of top 5 because the 5th is almost guaranteed to get their 5th Champions League spot. But still, the Demonin says we have attackers on the bench and we don't use them, so frustrating. The subs are too late. Also, well, we made 1 halftime sub, and then we made a double sub after 65-ish minutes. We'll look into it. It's getting clearer that to secure top 4 fully, our next upgrade must involve a new worthy goalkeeper and a one centre back. Our making top 4 this season may hang on this. I mean, on the centre-backs, I'm not 100% sure I agree with this. We need to figure out the way we want to play because always having Reece James at left-back isn't the solution either. But the problem is the way our right-backs are, either like the left-back needs to be a centre-back. So either you let Cucurella do that, but there's going to be certain games where we don't want that, whether it's Arsenal, for example, in my opinion, because they're so strong in the air and so dangerous with that if you play Cucurella as one of your centre-backs, you're just a bit short in the team. Was Jackson playing? Sorry, I didn't hear his name, and when I did, I was genuinely surprised he was on the pitch. I mean, he should have had an assist for Enzo, but yeah. Well, if Jackson was crap, then Nkunku should have come on. Maybe, but Nkunku was crap last game. I just don't think Nkunku did anything to get on this pitch today, to be honest. I think that would have just made us worse, to be honest. Playing players in wrong positions and Sanchez cost us. I don't like this idea of playing players in the wrong positions being the problem. I get you guys, but I still, yeah. Yeah, I hear it. Died Pep. I'm tired of hearing that. I get you, but why I'm using that example is that even the best manager in the world, probably the best manager in history, cannot get a team working perfectly within the system in the first few months, even the first season. That's all I'm trying to say. So therefore, why are people expecting Maresca, who is clearly not as good as Pep Guardiola, why are they expecting Maresca to achieve things that Pep Guardiola can't do? I'm not saying Maresca is anywhere near as good as Pep. I'm saying Maresca isn't as good as Pep. Therefore, why are we expecting him to be better than him? You know what I mean? We have beaten United a bunch of times in those 11 years. I don't think playing them at Old Trafford should be such a huge barrier. I think you underestimate things drastically. My God. No, I completely disagree with that. Now, first of all, Old Trafford is a big reason. The pitch is absolutely ginormous, which you'd think in principle can help us, but we're not used to it because we rarely play on that big of a pitch. So that's already an advantage to them. And yeah, we've beaten them a few times in those 11 years. Also, not very many times, by the way, just to be clear. But yeah, it makes a big difference playing them away. Also, I'm not sure if you guys heard this, but this fixture, Chelsea versus Manchester United, is the most drawn fixture in Premier League history, which is kind of interesting. We have two great centre-backs. We need a goalkeeper. I agree with that. It's difficult to think about the goalkeeper. He makes some good saves, but he makes terrible mistakes. We'll get into it. I would play Levi, Tosin, and Fofana as a back three. No, I wouldn't, because I really don't want Levi as the left centre-back in possession. I know he was that in the second half today, but I don't really want that. But even more so, which thankfully he wasn't today, I don't want him left back out of position. Shouldn't be doing that at all, in my opinion. Yes, but we still have to try something different. It looks like Jackson was not going to school. Yeah, but I don't think changing the striker would have changed because we barely gave Jackson the ball. I think we needed to change something a bit deeper, but it didn't really work. Come on, Laurenz. We should have had wrapped this game up in the first half. What? It had way more chances than us in the first half. Don't know what you're talking about, if I'm being perfectly honest. Chelsea ladies are playing now, live on Sky Sports, and we are winning 1-0 at Everton so far first half. Big up yourself for that, Lee. Appreciate it. Is there anything else that's come on? We'll look at Maresca's statements on the Cucurella-Augusta situation in a bit. Darcy said, should we feel happy or sad about this result? Honestly, I feel a bit indifferent. That's kind of how I feel. Nehemiah says, bro, how are we above Arsenal? And honestly, maybe that's the first thing we should be looking at, because that's at least something fun. I mean, we are fourth as well. Could have gone to the third had we won, and we would have been a good bit closer to the top. But we are above Arsenal. And let's be honest, guys, if you think back 3 months to the beginning of the season, how much money would you have put on Chelsea being above Arsenal come November 3rd? After 10 games. 10 games is an amount of games that you can absolutely think about and look at. I don't know how. It's purely on goal difference. It's the same amount of points, obviously. But yeah, we're ahead of Arsenal. Somehow behind Nottingham Forest. Mental, but sure. Man United still nowhere to be seen. Still only 13th, so that's quite funny. Liverpool being top, I also didn't expect that. Shout out Dimitar, he expected that. But yeah, at least we are above Arsenal. Do you think Enzo got the subs correct? Difficult to answer. I think he made a correct decision in taking Gusto off. I think in principle, he also made a correct decision bringing Enzo on for Lavia. I also think it was the right decision to take Madueke off because I thought Madueke was poor. You don't really want to take Palmer off, no matter what the game is doing. So you're not bringing on Felix because you're not going to bring in one for anybody else. Yeah, you could have done Nkunku for Jackson. I don't think it would have done anything, and I'm not mad that it didn't happen, but you could have done it. I agree with that, and I hear that. Let me make this a little bit bigger. This is essentially how we lined up in possession. Obviously, off the ball, it changed. And, the first half, Gusto was then at right back, and then second half, Cucurella was then at left back, and it shifted around. Gabriel says, we are so poor in the air. Our corners are just wasted. Yeah, kind of true. Even though we hit the post from a corner, and in my opinion, could have had a penalty for Martinez kicking Colwill in the foot. Okari says, next we lose against Arsenal. Probably, but don't forget, we didn't lose, actually, today. I know people are disappointed, but we were clearly the better team tonight. Should have won it easily. Let's be honest with ourselves. I don't think so. United had many more bigger chances than we did. And we kind of bottled it in the final third, usually. Our goal was an absolute free goal. That doesn't happen. It goes through Mudrik's legs, which makes it impossible for Onana to see and save. And it's a great strike on the volley. That's not normal. And other than that, other than hitting the post and a lucky not lucky, but the Enzo should have scored it. But those three are only real chances that I can think of anyway. It's been 10 games. Where the flip is our set piece go? That's what I want to know as well, to be fair, bro. That's what I want to know. We need an experienced centre-back to come into the first team. Well, it's not going to happen, bro. We're not going to buy an experienced anything. The best experience you're going to get is Tosin. And Kunku and Enzo are getting sold in January. Both are unhappy at Chelsea. I mean, I don't think so. They might be unhappy, but I don't think they're getting sold in January because who's buying them? I mean, for money that we will accept. The biggest problem we have as a team is the lack of urgency, i.e. intensity. We on the ball move and progress slower than a snail on wheat. Yeah, no. See, I get you puzzle live TV. And last season, obviously, we did that very differently, but that's play style. Do you see Pep's teams, or people hate that comparison again, but they're the best team in the world. So obviously you compare to them, right? Like even they do not play fast all the time. When you play against the defensive block, you need to pass it around to find gaps. Now, should it be a bit quicker? Yes. But I think in principle, this is absolutely on purpose, and I actually back it. Now, first of all, saves us a lot of injuries. You can tell. We have no injuries now, and compare it to last season, how many injuries we had then. Let me actually change this again to make myself a little bit bigger before we get into the details. It saves us injuries and also makes us better towards the end of games. And I think you've already seen that on multiple occasions this season. The only positive for us is that we went through a difficult run and are still fourth. Yeah, true. Disasi should go, Badiashile should go, and Cucurella should go. Kind of. Nothing above Chelsea. Crazy, isn't it? Who would have thought that? Like, makes our point against them not look so bad anymore now, does it? Arsenal screwed up in the transfer window, getting Sterling as your only forward signing, enough said. Yeah, absolutely. Reece James shouldn't be captain as he kept slowing the game down. What was happened to us, please? Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't want to stand that this, don't want to understand that this has tactical reasons that have good logic to them, fair enough. If you don't want to get it, if you don't want to agree with it, then, but unfortunately, it's gonna stay like that. Like it's gonna stay like that, and I don't think slowing the game down has anything to do with being captain. You think John Terry made the game fast? I don't know. We were the better team. I mean, I'm not saying we were the worst team, but I'm not. I don't think we were the better team. Karan says this was such a winnable game, but United sacked Ten Hag exactly before the Chelsea game, and there is always a response in these situations. We were lucky to get a draw. I agree. Like, I think on the basis of a performance, we deserved the draw. On the basis of the reality of the game, I think we were lucky to get a draw. If I'm honest, like there are chances, man. Don't forget. Like, think about it. Garnacho had 2 sitters. Kind of 3 if you think about the late one that he kind of rifled over. You have that Bruno Fernandes absolute monster chance. You have, okay, I mean, it got the whistle when was blown beforehand anyway, but Robert Sanchez essentially got robbed of save of the season because he made an unbelievable save in the first half. He made a couple of low cross blocks that could have been really dangerous as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, at least we're in top 4. I agree. When we break fast, we score. I mean, yeah, we do. But why? Because that's what we did last season. Like, it's like when Lampard came in and we were amazing at the beginning of Lampard's reign because of the things we learned under Sarri. And then the longer Lampard was here for, the worse we got, like tactically and the way we tried to play and play out and stuff. But when they still had the muscle memory of under Sarri, it was working. And that's what you see now. That's why changing tactics, system, philosophy takes time. That's why you're not done with that after 3 months. That's just what it is. Have you seen Enzo to Madrid links? Given the right offer, do you think he should go? Honestly, I'm not sure if there's actually been a link. All I've seen is that Real Madrid are willing to sell Tchouaméni for the right offer. And then I've seen Chelsea fans create a link. They're like, why don't we swap them? But should he go? Maybe. Should we get Tchouaméni instead? I don't really think so. It just causes even more positional headaches, I think. Sanchez needs to get dropped. Watch Jurgensen again. But yeah. Can we loan Raheem Maduki to Arsenal? Bloody hell. We gave the ball away way too much. James in particular. I mean, we'll look at the stats. Diet Pep is about pointless possession, fewer shots, and lower XG. No, but that's not what it... Just because that results in it doesn't mean at all that that's what that's about. Like, if you guys need to... I don't understand why... I don't know. I don't really... Like, I feel like I've answered this already a couple of times. I just don't see the point, if I'm being honest, in thinking about it like that constantly. But I understand people are frustrated we didn't win. We will get spanked by Arsenal next week. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. They had 4 shots on target. We have had 3 shots on target. They had 1 more shot on target than us. Good thinking. Okay, what are you trying to tell me? Are you saying that's why we should have won or not won? I don't think shots on target is necessarily the thing, because we had shots on target that were easy saves. They had shots on targets that were easy saves. It's not just that. Rashford hit the post. We hit the post. The lads were nervous today, but happy with the draw. We need to beat the Gooners now. But we won't probably. Watch the Chelsea rejects that went to Arsenal. They will score a few against us next weekend. Who? Jorginho and Sterling. You think they're going to play? Well, we'll see. Aside from the fact that Sterling isn't allowed to play, but sure. Is it these games for which I wish we had signed Osimhen? He would have most likely converted the chance which Jackson had. Which chance did Jackson have? Can someone tell me that? Maybe I'm just forgetting it. To be honest, I see what Maresca is doing. Just imagine that we have the kind of players to execute the system. I cringed a lot in the first half seeing how many balls we gave. Well, yeah, 100%. It was just not good from us the way we gave the ball away, but I don't think that has anything to do with the manager, if I'm honest. Like, we've had these games on the Poch. Like, literally this game on the Poch, in my opinion. I know we lost 5-0 away to Arsenal, and I still think Man United away last season was by far our worst performance. We just played a bad Man United. That's why we only lost 2-1. But we should have lost 6-1 at least that game. At least. Like, we were so bad. It's just an atmosphere where we don't thrive, unfortunately. It's just as real as that. The telling point of the match was when Sanchez had the ball after United missed. Neto was in acres of space. Sanchez held up. Neto waved his hands in despair. Fast turn around is this season. I'm confused by the last bit, sorry. Can't blame Maresca for now, lest we forget. CFC owners took an insane risk signing him. For me, this season, free for him. Just that this season, so far, Arsenal and Man City are not in it yet. Hence, we should take advantage. Sure. Enzo had the chance. Fernandes, yeah. Forgot about Havertz. No, don't consider him. Is Arsenal sacking Arteta next week? I mean, if before us, I doubt that. Let me open FOTMob again, and let's look at a few more stats of the game before we look at the individuals, shall we? We still have the table up here. I'll go to the stats. I'll just make it bigger for you guys to look at, so we can actually look at it. Let's look. Okay, we had slightly more possession. Did we slightly more possession in the first half, slightly more possession in the second half? To be fair, we had much higher XG in the first half. I didn't feel that at all. So, to be honest, maybe whoever message it was earlier that we should have killed them in the first half, maybe you have a point. But we only had one shot on target and only one big chance as well. So, I don't know. Second half, then slightly more possession, but barely any XG other than the one we actually scored, bafflingly. But yeah, in total, 12 shots, 3 on target. Only one big chance. Well, they had 4, which is why I think we can't be too upset about not winning. If I'm honest, they had higher XG in total, but obviously, I mean, just look at the game. Obviously, they had higher XG. We had more XG from set plays because obviously we hit the post with that Maresca header, which is also, like you can see there, 0.91. That's basically all the XG in the first half. Well, not basically all of it, but all but 0.3. So, yeah, we didn't really have many big chances in the first half. We just hit the post through Maresca. We won more duels. We had more passes, ever so slightly better accuracy, more of it in our own half, but a lot more in their half as well, especially compared to them. Accurate long balls was better than theirs as well, to be fair. We barely crossed the ball, which is interesting, but I think it's just the way we try to attack, if I'm honest. It just weren't really working out. I think there was moments to cross, but the guys just never got it going. So let me move on to this image so we can actually look at individual ratings and we can actually discuss them, because I think we absolutely do have to. And we'll look at some quotes a little bit later. Let's talk about Rob Sanchez. Guys, what rating would you give Rob Sanchez? Because weirdly, I thought Rob Sanchez was actually good today until that mistake. And now it's just a question of how bad do we all think that mistake was or not, or wasn't. Bloody hell. Ukrud says 4. And Varna said 9. 9. That is mental. 9. He gave away a penalty. How can you give him a 9? Mully says 6. Sammy says 2. The missing stat is how quick team counter turned around. Chelsea would be bottom. Yeah, but on purpose. Like, this is not something we're like bad at on purpose, but also we've scored a lot of counter-attacking goals this season. And we're going to learn more about Maresca. We will. 4.5, 3, 4, 2. I'll give him a 4. I'll give him a 4 because I do think that I mean, and maybe I need to see him back a couple more times, but I just don't understand why he went for that ball. Like, I think it was Garnacho. He was running out of play, like, or at least away from goal. I don't understand why Sanchez dived for it. Like, he nearly got the ball, to be fair to him, but he didn't. So, yeah. I thought he was really good otherwise, actually. I thought his distribution was decent today. If I'm not going to show you guys just because I'm just quickly looking at his stats. I'm just keeping it short. At 87% pass completion, 2 out of 8 long balls. Okay, but he just didn't play that many long balls. And he didn't misplace a single pass that wasn't a long ball. So the distribution was okay today. Also, some long balls I thought were good. He made some strong saves. Obviously, one of them didn't count as a save. because the ref blew the whistle, but he's actually was an absolute worldy performance, worldy save. That got, the whistle was blown beforehand. So I'm going to give it a 4 in total. I would blame Fofana for creating that situation. I hear it. I thought he saved us tonight, Sanchez. Fine, since he gave away the pen. 7.5 still. I still think that's miles to high. But I hear you. I mean, I disagree with that. But yeah, there you go. It was Hojlund. He's a lefty, isn't he? Maybe he was scared. Oh, it was Hojlund, not Garnacho. Okay, fair. I mean, yeah. But surely then make yourself big and stop the quick lefty shot rather than taking them down. I don't get it. Modern football is no longer about having a good shot stopper. We need a ball playing, good distribution keeper. Sanchez is only good at shot stopping. I kind of agree. I was appalled when I saw him jumping for the ball. I assume you mean Fofana or Sanchez? Not sure. But yeah, let's give Sanchez a 4. That's what I'll do. Sanchez's family are in tonight. In what? I don't know. Let's move up to Levi Colwill. Now, could he have got us a penalty? Maybe. I will bring up the stats so you guys can look at them as well. There was one occasion where he went down too easily and they kind of nearly scored. But in general, I thought he did quite good. If I'm honest, his passing, I didn't really see many useful line-breaking passes today, but the pressure wasn't on our centre-backs that much. The pressure was more in our midfield, so it wasn't really that difficult of a day for the centre-backs in terms of in possession. But yeah, decent passing accuracy. 1 out of 6 long balls. That should be better, to be fair. 1 out of 1 tackles. 2 out of 5 ground deals. Could be a bit better, to be fair. Should be better. 1 out of 3 aerial deals should be a bit better as well. With that seen and said, I will give Levi Colwill a 5 out of 10. What was that foul on Levi? I don't fully understand your question. Sorry, bro. I'll give him a 5. Do people think that's too low? What did the other people say again? Colwill 6. Colwill 9. Varner gave him a 9. Bloody hell. I think that's kind of backfiring not to play some of the main starters in midweek games. Yeah, I always doubt him on the stream, but fucking hell, he's bloody good. Colwill, I'm seeing a 5. Laskin Karis. Oh, bloody hell. Do you mean Karios? Probably. A 5 for Colwill I'm seeing here, and 9, which I still think is a bit mental. 6, 5. You know what? I'll give him a 5.5. I'll give him that. Because there's been a few 6s. I move on to Wesley Fofana. And now this will be an interesting one because there's been a few people in the chat now who have blamed him more for the penalty we conceded than they blamed Robert Sanchez. But I thought, other than that moment, I actually thought Fofana was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. When he chased Saxi down, second half when they were countering, phenomenal tackling. How he was aggressive, how he was the press trigger. It was absolutely brilliant. A couple of passes that should have been better, sure. You can see there, misplays 9 of them. Should be a tad better, absolutely. Successful dribble, successful long ball, 2 out of 3 tackles, 6 out of 9 ground duels, 5 out of 6 aerial duels. Bloody hell, Fofana was an absolute machine. Now, again, he should have done a bit better on the penalty. He misjudged that ball 100%. But I disagree with everybody that says he wasn't good outside of that, because I thought outside of that, he was absolutely brilliant. Because he still did that, I will give him a 7. I'm thinking, do I still give him a 7.5? I kind of want to. What is everybody else wanting to give Fofana? I'm seeing, okay, bloody hell. I'm seeing very different messages here. Okay, this is now difficult because I'm not sure if you're still talking about Colwill or if you're talking about Fofana. Must be Fofana because you said a different rating earlier. Multi-H said 5 twice, so maybe you meant Fofana and Colwill. Thank you, Puzzle TV. He adds the rating and the name to it, like Varner does as well. Please do that in future. I appreciate that. 5.6. I assume you mean 6.5. Okay, he's good. 8 for Fofana. 7. Are you on drugs? 7. 6.5. 7.5. I mean, Puzzle TV, I think you're the one on drugs compared to what everybody else thinks. I'll give him that 7 though. I won't go higher. But yeah, I thought outside of that penalty where he misjudged the ball, phenomenal. And I also think people are slightly overestimating. Like, even if he doesn't jump, could he do a bit more? Yes. But does that guarantee stop Sanchez flying in like that and causing a penalty? I don't think so. I think Sanchez might do that regardless of Fofana jumping, if I'm honest. Because even if Fofana doesn't jump, he was arguably slightly positioned wrongly in the first place in front of Hojlund. So, like, he wouldn't have intercepted it almost certainly. Now, he could have, squared up to him, but would Sanchez have dived for it anyway? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And let's move on to Reece James, shall we? So first half, obviously played at left centre-back in possession, left back out of possession. Second half, he then switched, playing right back out of possession and right centre-back in possession. And how did he play? 89% passing accuracy. A few passes that he shouldn't have misplaced, to be fair. A few of them. But I thought overall he had a pretty decent game. Now, a couple of better crosses would be quite nice, but 5 out of 8 long balls is good. Had a lot of touches, was involved. Had a good, strong tackle. Look at the duel stats, though. 3 out of 4 ground duels, 5 out of 6 air duels. He had a good game. He didn't make a mistake that cost us a goal like Fofana did. I'll probably give him a 7 as well in total, though. I know Fofana made a mistake, but I just was more impressed by Fofana. So even though Fofana makes a mistake, I give him the same rating as Reece. But I still think, considering coming back from injury, playing in a position that he's not used to, and also looking after his body a little bit, sprinting when he has to, and looking fine doing it, looking quick, looking sharp, not looking injury prone at the moment. So positives. For me, positives. I move on to Moises Caicedo. And wow, to be honest, I just want to give him a crown. I kind of want to give him a crown. Why is it? Why do I do an update on my laptop? And then it goes from the search being in English to the search being in German, even though I didn't change the language on it. Don't understand this at all. It was kind of crap first few minutes, but Reece was okay. Moi. 10,000. 7. Hello, Mason. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Hope you're well. Thank you for your input on the rating. Manstrike says Caicedo 10. Multi-age, says 8.5. Kevin says 8.5. Uzaiya says 8.5. Let's look at his stats. My God, he was phenomenal. He was utterly phenomenal. Maybe a couple of streaky moments in the first half, potentially. Honestly, I don't even think so. I just think he was utterly immense. The reason we won so many more tackles than United is Moises Caicedo. Passing, good enough. Not amazing, but good enough. A phenomenal goal. Look at where he strikes that ball. It's a clearance from Casemiro from a header. To be fair, people have a go at our set pieces. We hit the corner from the post from a set piece, and we indirectly scored from a set piece. So, make of that what you will. But yeah, Casemiro's clearing header. It falls to Caicedo at the edge of the box. He takes it first time on his right foot, blasts it in, low shot, through the legs of Mudryk. Is right next to the post. Nothing really Onana could have done about it, especially with Mudryk blocking his view. Not from an offside position, by the way. We had only one shot, scored that. 2 out of 3 successful dribbles, 2 out of 3 successful long balls, 2 out of 3 tackles, 8 out of 16 ground duels. To be honest, that arguably should be a bit more, but I think he was also going for things that he was never going to win, but just to get stuck in there. He also didn't get himself booked today. Honestly, I think he could have done, but yeah, you'll take it. 1 of 3 fouls, sure, committed 3 as well, but 1 of 3 fouls, which I'm pretty happy with. I thought Caicedo was utterly fantastic. Utterly fantastic. I'm good. Shame about today. Expected better. Yeah, I expected a little bit better in terms of performance. I didn't really expect better in terms of result, if I'm honest. Moises, 9, anything less, yes, Spurs fan. 8.5, 9, 8.5. I mean, a lot of 8.5s from the chat. Mason even gave him a 7, to be fair. James, sorry, that was for James. Maybe that was for James as well. I'm not sure, if I'm honest. I want to give him a 9, I want to give him a 9. I think an 8.5 isn't high enough for quite how good Moises Caicedo was today. What a player. What a player. I absolutely love him. But yeah, there you go. Romeo Lavia on the other side then. More tricky game for him. And this is kind of back-to-back games for him where he's had a bit of a tricky afternoon. Like, I'm not saying he was poor by any means. But yeah, maybe it's just catching up to him that we're playing him in the biggest games. Like, literally the biggest games. Yeah, and he's only 20. He didn't play that last season with us. Only really the Southampton experience. He's played, 5 games now? Played against City, played against 4 games. Played against City, played against Liverpool, played against Newcastle, and now played Man United away. I mean, bloody hell, those are 4 difficult games to play. And he was great against Man City. He was good for the most part against Liverpool. He struggled a bit against Newcastle. And it was okay today, I would say. It was okay. Decent passing accuracy, misplaced 7 passes. Should have been better on a few of those. There were a couple of unnecessary misplaced passes that ruined us attacks for us. 1 out of 4 tackles could be a bit better. 6 out of 12 ground duels. That's the same as Caicedo in terms of, percentage. Aerial duels, 2 out of 2. I guess that's good. I mean, what does everybody else think about Lavia today? I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to read it in the chat. I will look at it now. He was decent. Yeah. 8 for Lavia. Okay. That's surprisingly high for me. Bloody hell. 7.5, 8, 7.5, 7. 2 games back to back. 8. Bloody hell. Really? Complimented more. Excuse me. Gave the ball away too many times. Why am I having a hiccup now? The worst time to have a hiccup is when you're streaming on your own. You don't want to be having a hiccup when you're doing that. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button for me. Everybody that's here right now, hit that like button for me. It really helps me out, spreading the streams out to more people. And if you haven't done so just yet, hit that subscribe button as well. That would really help me out. I'd appreciate that. 6.5 I'm seeing, 7 and 6, 7.5. Bloody hell, I'm surprised by how high you guys are going, if I'm honest. I give you a 7, I guess. Although it's making my I have to give Fofana a 7.5 then. I'm sorry. I know. No. I'm sorry. No. I'm not playing along. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I'm harsh. I don't know. But I'm giving Caicedo a 6.5. And is that drastic? 2.5 less than Caicedo? Yes. But no, I have to give him a 6.5. I just do not think he quite warranted a 7. I really don't think so. You're having hiccups because of your score of Reece James. Fair enough. Ricky says 6 to be fair. JP says I might be in a minority, but I felt we lacked control in the midfield. I go 6.5. 7.14. Fair enough. Another 6. So I don't know. More of the slightly more pessimistic or negative ratings are coming in, I guess. It's fair, Laurenz. All right. Appreciate it. Let's move on then. And move on to Malo Gusto. Tough afternoon, that, wasn't it? Tough afternoon for Malo Gusto. Let's look at his stats. Because there's a few stats that don't look amazing. 70% passing accuracy. It's not good enough. There was too many misplaced passes. I know it's only 8 in total, but 8 out of 27 is too much. 0 accurate crosses out of 3. 0 accurate long balls out of 3. 0 successful tackles. 0 duels. Bloody hell. I didn't realize it was going to be that bad. Wow. I feel a bit bad for him now. Wow, that was surprisingly bad, guys. Those stats are real bad. Real bad. I'll give him a 1. I'll give him a 2. I'll be nice. I'll give him a 2. But that doesn't read well, does it? 0, 0, 0 in everything. Laurenz, I've been a regular watcher since 100% Chelsea. Appreciate you, a proud Naga. You know, just to be very clear in what I'm pronouncing. Naga. That's what I'm reading out. Don't be twisting my words, guys, please. But yeah, Sammy says 3, Gusty 4, 5, 4, 3.5. Horrific today, 2, 3, 2.5. Can't wait for the person next to him. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to that. 3, 2.5 for being a fan favorite. Yeah, is he even still? I feel like at the moment he's the favorite to get hate, no matter what he does or says. If I'm honest, Chelsea ladies, by the way, 3-0 up now. So that's good. That is, what am I seeing? Must have been for the chip. Fair enough. You meant 0.4 to 0.5. What did you say in the end? Just 5. Fair enough. He says 4. I'll give him a 2. That's what I'll give him. And next up, you know what? Let's just do Cucurella straight away because he played just as much in the game as Gusto did. So we might as well get him out of the way now and get him out of the way quickly. Not in a negative sense. But yeah, played 45 minutes, 81% passing accuracy. Only misplaced 3, to be fair. But the number isn't that far off of Gusto's, I guess. But yeah. 0 out of 1 dribbles, 2 out of 2 long balls. That's pretty good. 1 out of 2 tackles, 2 out of 4 ground duels. Not great, but decent. I would just give Cucurella a 6. I don't know what other people think, but I think just give him an average 6. I think it was decent. It was interesting how he was trying to do overlapping runs. I wonder if that was new tactical instructions or if he was doing things different to what we did in the first half. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting. Cole Palmer. Now, I thought he had a tough afternoon in terms of being marked very tightly, being fouled a lot. So let's look at some stats, right? Passing, 85%, misplaced, 5 of them. It happens when you're an attacking player. 2 out of 2 dribbles, though. 1 out of 8 crosses. That should be a bit better. 3 out of 5 long balls is decent. 7 out of 8 ground duels actually phenomenal. And he was fouled 4 times. I'll give Palmer. Everybody else would get a 6.5 for this from me. Everybody else for this very same performance, I'll give him a 6. I see what someone in the chat just said. For his standards, 5.5. I hear that. but I'll give him a 6 because I don't want to be too harsh. Palmer 6.5 for a good first touch moment. Yeah, he did have that. 7 out of 8 euros in it. That's what I'm saying. For his standards, oh yeah, you said that already. Could even go as low as 5, 5, 8, 5. Didn't turn up today. 5.5. Palmer poor tonight. 4. Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe I could also give him a 5.5, but I think at the end of the day, Palmer was trying things. Palmer was trying to be proactive. Palmer found it a bit difficult to get into the game. He should have, I just would have liked, I mean, I do. But I think in a game like today, if the creative player doesn't create more, that's more of a, that the system didn't quite grab the game the way it should have done. But yeah, because his standards are so much. You know what? Because of his standards, I give him a 5.5. I'll concede that. I'll not quite give him a 6. But yeah. Let's do Madueke next then. Because he was the next one that had a tough afternoon. You want to kiss him? I mean, not really. I also don't think he would consent. So then I'd rather not. Did you see that touch to get away from Casemiro and Rashford? Oh boy, yes I did. I wish there was more positive moments and we won the game today because my god, that meme, that GIF, sorry, would be doing the rounds like crazy. Yeah, I just said that to be fair. If he wants to win Ballon d'Or, if he wants Ballon d'Or shouts, he needs to be standout player against these big teams. I mean, last time we played Man United, he scored a hat trick. To be fair, I'm just saying. Noni did nothing. What? You're giving him a 5 for doing nothing. I think that's way too nice. Madueke was way worse than a 9, than a 5, if you ask me. I mean, again, everybody will have their own opinion, but for me, absolutely nowhere near a 5 rating. 80% passing accuracy, again, similar to a lot of others. 4 misplaced passes, not too bad. Honestly, I'm surprised it even says 3 attempted dribbles because that's what frustrated me. And I'm like, bro, take your man on. We played, especially first half, we played a lot of over-the-top balls to Madueke, whether it was Reece, whether it was Caicedo, whether it was Lavia, whether it was attempted ones by Gusto or even Colwill. But he didn't beat his man, whether that was the left back, Mazraoui, or whether that was Martinez. Never beat him. Couldn't get the crossing. Couldn't get the cross past it. Hit the header against the post that he should have scored with. Now, sure. Did Fofana push him in the back? Maybe. Not if Fofana knew much about it. You can also make a case that Noni should have left it for Fofana because Fofana would have definitely scored it. Multiple ways to look at it. Ground duels. I mean, compare that to Palmer's 7 out of 8. He has 2 out of 8. I'm giving Madueke a 3. Do people think that's too harsh? I'm giving him a 3. I think he was only ever so slightly better than Gusto, and that's purely because he made ever so slightly less mistakes. But in his usefulness, he was equally as useless. I'll be honest. I'm not going to give him more than that. I can't. I'm sorry. Pedro Neto. Now, he was a weird one today. I think he played a game today that lets me keep faith in him and hope to see more from him. He was certainly the most dangerous of all of our players. I mean, that shot that he dragged just ever so slightly wide here, I thought it was going in. That shot wasn't too bad either, that you can see just there, that one. Not sure when it happened, but there you go. That one had right foot. That's where it fit. Oh, was it a save in the end? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see? Decent passing accuracy, only misplaced 3 as well out of 22. That's decent. I'm surprised the expected goals isn't high on that, but I guess the expected goals wasn't high. It was just a good shot. 2 out of 4 dribbles. At least he attempted a couple more. Not as many crosses, interestingly. Well, there was a lot more crosses from other players. At least a positive ground duel ratio. Not as impressive as Palmer, but certainly a lot better than Madueke. I would just give Neto a 6, if I'm honest. I could push a 6.5. I'll give him a 6.5. But that's, yeah, I'm being nice with that one. Let me see what other people have said. The problem with 3, but then Palmer should be lower. Oh, no, I disagree. I disagree completely with that. Neto wasn't too bad. No, he wasn't. 7 from Musaia. Neto had a decent performance. 7. All right. Was a machine. 7. Neto, for me, didn't do much more than Madueke. I'd give him a 5-2. Okay. 7. Maybe I'll switch Noni to 4 and give Neto 5. All right. 8 from Dawson. That's a lot. More of a threat compared to Noni. Yeah. Neto being on point by lack of decent playing. 7. Neto was poor as well. I disagree. I don't think Neto was poor. Yeah, I'll stick with my 6.5. Honestly, guys. I mean, Ricky Fire said even as low as a 5. Yeah, I mean, there was after we made the subs and Mudryk and Enzo had come on and then Neto switched to the right-hand side. That late Garnacho chance. Neto should have been there helping Reece defend that, and he wasn't. But otherwise, I thought it was decent. Neto kind of proves my point. While I feel like some of the boys don't play nothing midweek games. Oh, when I feel like some of the boys don't play nothing midweek games. Sorry, Big K, reword that, please. I'm not 100% sure what you mean. I'm sorry. The boys don't play enough games. But Big K, is that really what we can say at the moment? Because everybody else is talking about how there's too many games. We're almost the only club in the world making sure our players do not play too many games. Are we really sure that's the kind of criticism we should give them at the moment? Like they're not playing enough. On I'm not saying you're criticizing the players. You're more criticizing the manager with rotation. But yeah, I mean, come the Club World Cup next summer, we will be happy that we rotated the team this much. I also think they overdid it for Newcastle. I think Caicedo should have started Newcastle. And I think Jackson should have at least been on the bench. And I think we should have had a real right back. But in general, we'll be happy come the Club World Cup that we rotated this much. There's more than enough game time at the moment. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, we're out of the Carabao Cup, so a little bit less games. But it's not much. Like we're missing 4 games here. And that's a hard worker, but it's not enough. I mean, it wasn't quite enough, but I still feel I was between us. You know what? I'll actually take it down to a 6. I think maybe a 6.5 is overdoing it a little too much. Coming to Nicholas Jackson, though. Maybe I'll change my Neto one again. But coming to Nicholas Jackson, let's look at his stats because I'm very... What's his dribble stat, Neto? I think he had 2 out of 4. Barna, 2 out of 4. Let me look at it again. Yes, 2 out of 4 dribbles. Nicholas Jackson. 16 passes. That's the same amount as I'm pretty sure Cucurella had for only playing the second half. And Nicholas Jackson has played the whole game. Touches, he had 30. Honestly, surprised he had that many. 1 out of 2 dribbles, 1 out of 1 tackles. 5 out of 6 ground duels is good going, to be fair. 1 out of 3 aerial duels. Could be a bit higher, but that's never Nico's strength, is it? Could have done a bit more with that chance, I guess. Honestly, I kind of forgot about that chance, if I'm honest. I need to see that back. How much XG did it have? I mean, expected goals is 0.08, so clearly not a lot, which is surprising from that distance. Right foot from a corner, got saved. Okay, fair enough. Now, I was thinking of giving him a fairly low rating initially. Well, initially I was thinking, shall I give him an NA? But that's probably too harsh. So I'll give him a 5. 5. Let's see what other people say. Our depth will win out in the end, hopefully. Jackson had a little good pass moment and Enzo Fernandez wasted it. True. He did have that one good pass. Fair enough. I was thinking about the Club World Cup. Yeah, fair enough. Jackson, 7 from Sammy, 4.5 from Darson. Interesting. Who didn't you just give Neto like an 8 or something? Give Neto an 8, Jackson a 4.5. I feel like there's drastic differences in your ratings, but fair. Uzias gives him a 4. Nico 4 from Puzzle TV. Jackson barely got the ball today. 5. Jackson 5. Jackson 7 for the yellow card. You're saying he should have had more? When did he even get booked? When did that happen? Can I see that somewhere? If I go to facts. 90 plus 4. Honestly, I actually missed that yellow card. So if someone can explain to me what he did to get booked, what has that happened then? What he did to get booked, let me know. But yeah, as for Jackson, I'll give him a 5. I'll give him a 5. Anonymous, I think, is the best. There was almost 0 service to him today. That's what I thought. Sofa and Potmob gave him a 7.2. Yeah, but we're doing different ratings to Sofa Score and Potmob. Yeah, okay, Ashraf, let's have a conversation about it. Please elaborate why you would like less than that. Because, okay, he misjudged that cross that in the end led to the penalty. But otherwise, can you tell me a single thing that Fofana did wrong? Look at his stats as well. He was very impressive, in my opinion. I thought Fofana was... Honestly, without that penalty moment, I would have happily given him an 8.5. Maybe more. Honestly, I was really debating giving him a 7.5. I thought it was absolutely brilliant outside of that one moment. And I know that moment plays a role, but I did think he was absolutely brilliant for that. And I think it was more on... What? No, it's not. I'm confused, bro. I'm confused. Jackson 5 made me giggle. I mean, you gave him a 4. It's not that far off, is it? He got booked for fighting. I like the energy, but he needs to calm down. It's true. A big club stops being a big club when they're okay with not winning. Maresca won't take us forward. Sounds impulsive, but bookmark this comment for the end of the season. if not the end of a few seasons. I mean, we will win. I'm very confident that we will win the Conference League this season. So he will win something. But I'm also very confident we will definitely not win the Premier League. You meant the band. Jackson 5. I get it now. Thank you, Puzzle TV. I appreciate it. I didn't even look. Jackson was involved in the tussle after Cole Palmer fouled by Alessandro. Fair enough. Laurenz, today by the end, I will take the point and remove. That's what I'm saying. Now, I understand what Romani's saying. A big club stops being a big club when they're okay with winning, not winning. But I think you're stretching it a bit in terms of how critical you are being here. No one is purely happy with the draw, but we'll take a draw. United have bigger chances than us. They could have easily won that game. You don't really get referee decisions. I think we could have had a penalty. I think they could have had one, maybe two red cards. Obviously, the second one so late on, it doesn't make a difference. But still, yeah. I mean, let's look at the other two subs. We made two more subs, obviously. Mikhailo Mudryk coming on for Noni Madueke. And what was the other one? Am I being stupid? Oh, yeah, of course, Enzo. See, that's how easy it is to forget. Enzo Fernandez came on for Lavia. I mean, let's look at the stats quickly. It's not make it take too long. I want to look at some quotes from Maresca after that as well still. Mudryk first. 5 out of 5 successful passes. I guess that's good. He only had 11 touches. He attempted one dribble. I don't know what he was doing. He got tackled way too easily with Casemiro. I think he tried to chip it over the tackle and he didn't make it. He had one actually really poor cross, which I was quite unhappy with. Bloody hell, these look bad because there was actually a lot of moments when Mudryk tracked back really well, so I'm surprised by that. I'll give him an NA, but yeah, I didn't think it was as bad as this looked. I thought it looked like to give off danger. The back heel to Cole Palmer that led to a most dangerous cross really in the second half. It was good. But yeah. Bloody hell, he misplaced 5 passes in that little period that he played. The XG is surprisingly low on that. I thought it would be higher. But 5 misplaced passes in 20 minutes, bro. Enzo Fernandez, really? Was barely in any duels. I mean, I don't know, man. I'll give them an NA because I don't want to be too harsh, but bloody hell. I'm not amazing for Mudryk for sure. And not brilliant from Enzo. You missed a big chance and had 5 misplaced passes. That is not a good comparison. Before we get into Maresca's rating, I'm going to look at some of his comments from after the game because there's a lot of interesting ones that I want to look at. Sorry, I was just checking this. I mean, it's just a little bit confusing. Let me just go on Pice's page. Then we can look at 2 quotes from Maresca just as quickly as we possibly can. There's not much to it. All right. It's not great, is it? There's not much to those Maresca quotes. Sorry if I sold them as a bit more to you guys. But yeah, he said, we scored and we came back. After the goal, we tried to win. We're happy because we knew how difficult it would be. I mean, I get maybe this is what you were aiming at, Romani. I'll respond to your new message in a second. But I think you always got to make a big difference between what the manager says in public to keep the team spirit up, what he says to the players and stuff, and what he actually thinks. And also sometimes what he says behind closed doors. Because there's no point, be happy that we have a manager for once that doesn't throw the players under the bus every time something goes badly. I mean, Tuchel, at first, he always took the blame himself, always. Then he started blaming players sometimes. Podge always just blames the players because he doesn't have any tactics, so he can't blame himself, can he? And then Maresca said, hopefully Palmer's okay as ice in his leg. Well, I bloody hope he's okay. I mean, obviously not playing him midweek anyway, but I hope he's okay. Bloody hell. Let me go back to the rating screen and I'll put Maresca up and then I'll reply to that comment by Romani. Maresca, and we'll see what did Romani say. I see your angle, and in Maresca's defense, the recruitment hasn't been the best besides a few stars, but I expected more tactical decisions. Look at Inzaghi from Milan. He always has several backup plans. This is Serie A, bro. This is Serie A, where McTominay looks like the best player in the world. Where Lukaku, and we know all about Lukaku, looks like the best player in the world. Where the team that's top of the table by 8 players, by 8 points or something, and maybe that was with a game in hand, but still by like a good distance. Lost 3-0 at home today. 3-0. I'm not sure if I'm taking this for good old Inzaghi. I know what you mean, but yeah. Maresca, 4. To mirror the amount of hairs on his head. Honestly, I don't think he even has 4. The players will throw him under the bus, mark my words. At the moment, I don't think so. I would prefer it if you spell this name right, but Maresca gets a 4 in my opinion. He's not making enough tactical changes, like a moving Palmer over adding Cristo. We have too many players, 5 from a couple of people. I want to get on this. He's not making enough tactical changes. I'm also seeing this, expecting more tactical decisions. Let's look at this quickly, right? Let's look at this setup. So this is how we play on the ball. Then off the ball, you play like this. We have a, you can even argue for a 4-4-2, but let's keep it as a 4-3-1 just for a bit of simplicity. We have a right back that plays right attacking mid. Now you can say it doesn't work, but you can't tell me there's no tactical intricacy to it. Then we started like this. And why do we do that? Why? Because Colwill is best as a central centre-back. Fofana is best as a right central centre-back. While Reece James doesn't have the legs to go up and down. And Cucurella, if you play him here, you could still play Gusto there, but then do you not want Reece James in your team? I think the last couple of games have proven that you want him in our team. And then we made the sub, brought Cucurella on. We switched Reece James to this side. Colwill was playing left side of centre-back. Fofana was playing right side of centre-back. Gusto was then playing, Cucurella was then playing here, although you could have made a case that we also switched to a bit one of this one, which we obviously often also play. So in today's game alone, we had a right back playing right attacking midfielder. We had Palmer, who usually plays in the right pocket, last game playing the left pocket phenomenally well, who started the game there, shifted over to the other side in the game. We shifted our entire back three through the game. Our entire back three was shifted positionally. Our midfield was shifted around because Enzo coming on played a different role to Lavia. So I really don't understand why you guys are saying we were tactically. There's not tactically enough there. Like, I mean, JC, sorry, but that's just stupid. Like, what are you talking about? How about a 0 for not being able to beat the Man United side this bad? Now, the bad thing about them is not scoring, because Garnacho, they could have scored 4 goals today easily. Rashford hit the bar, obviously the penalty. Garnacho himself had 2 absolute hitters, the Bruno hitter. Like, he has so many chances. And do people not understand the reality of they sacked Ten Hag? Sure, they don't have the new manager in yet, but they are in an interim manager. They know the new manager is watching. They're going to try their very, very best. And you also know United, no matter who they are up against, other than when they play Liverpool, which because that kind of gets to their head somehow, they turn up when it's bigger games. They always do. Like last season, we got absolutely destroyed there away. Then at home, let's be honest, we were very lucky to win that game. Very lucky. So we don't win at Old Trafford. We haven't won there in 11 years. 11 years. And they have been this bad before. They have been much worse before. They were much worse last season when we played them. Well, I disagree. I disagree that we lost the midfield. I think what we lost today was just our own passing. I think what was our problem today was the lack of preciseness from our passing. And that comes from the back 3, that comes from Lavia, and that comes from the 2 behind the striker. Less so Caicedo for me, but from all of those others, I think defensively we were all right. I mean, the way United play, they want to play on a counter. That's what they're going to do. It's not going to be easy to defend. Obviously, our pressing could have been a bit better. But that's how United play. Long over-the-top balls are difficult to stop with a press. We were so scared of going forward. When did we show this much respect to Man United? Well, it's not about respect. It's about that we want to build attacks structurally. That's the point. We want to build them structurally and not like on a potch, just go crazy and play through ball after through ball after through ball, lose 90% of them, and get hit on the break every time. That's a problem. Bro, they are this team that lost the home goal, that with the least home goals scored this season. We were scared of them. I don't think we were scared of them at all, personally. But it doesn't matter if they're the worst so far. Sacking the manager changes everything. It changes everything. It's a completely different story immediately. Problem with the tactics is Lavia, besides this brilliant, nerves attacks. An opponent can bypass the midfield with a long ball. We need another creative player in the team to aid Palmer creatively. Well, and then when we do exactly that with Enzo Fernandez, people are not happy that Enzo Fernandez isn't doing enough creatively. it's a catch-22 at the moment. We were not moving the ball fast enough to create. Maybe Lavia doesn't offer anything any creativity. I disagree. And Gusto's just bad at everything. At the moment, he's sure he's bad at everything. In midfield, we faced hard pressing midfield. I think in general, yeah, we were good. If we agree that United are weak, then it's on us to perform well and win. But I don't agree that United are weak. United are not, like, we got a draw against United, right? Like, I'm not happy with it, but United don't lose at home that often. Like, people make a bad deal out of their bad form, but they often drop points and get bad results, but they don't lose very often. And then when it's a bigger team that comes to town, they always turn up. Why do you think we haven't won in 11 years? Like, we need to consider this. Like, why have 11 years happened? Again, I went through the managers that was. Jose Mourinho, with winning the league, didn't win at Man United. Then, you know, a little bit of... well, I think Benitez was the last time we won there, actually, funnily enough. Then obviously had a bit of hitting. I'm not sure when we played United away that season. Then you had Conte, also won the league, didn't win at Man United. Then you had Conte's second season. Okay, he beat them in an FA Cup final, didn't win at Man United. Then you had Sarri, didn't win at Man United. Then you had Lampard, didn't win at Man United. Actually lost 4-0 at Man United. I'm not saying Lampard should be the standards for Maresca, but still. Tuchel didn't win at Man United. And last season on a Poch, I thought we had our worst game of the season at Man United. I think those things need to be considered. Yeah, but that's just football. That will be the case in every game ever, I think. Gusto is bad, but the manager had to take the blame for playing him there too. But who would you have played? Like, you say that. Who would you have played then? Because Reece James can't do it. I guarantee you guys would not have been happy if Cucurella did this role all game long. I guarantee that. Do you discuss tactics on your Discord server? Feel like there's interesting takes from the fan base? I don't, but maybe I should start doing that. Would people be interested in that? Maybe that should be something to look into. History does not dictate the present nor the future. No, that's true. That's true. And that is a valid point. But, well, it's like us. It's like Spurs coming to Chelsea. They just don't win. Like, I know that one time on a content. But Spurs come to us. They can play better. They can be in good form. We can be in bad form. It doesn't matter. They don't win at Chelsea. And that's kind of the same. We don't win at Man United. There's a reason it's the most drawn fixture in history. In Premier League history. United always step up their game against Chelsea. Exactly. Then stop getting them inverted if they can't do it. They're amazing as wingbacks. What? Yeah, but, I mean, whether you like it or not like it, this is the system the manager wants to play. And this is the system almost all managers play nowadays. Like, in terms of you build up with a 3, you have the wingers creating the width, not necessarily wingbacks, because then you're using people like Ben Chilwell as your widest attacking option, and they can do it on a good day, but most of the time they're technically a little bit limited compared to real wingers. And that's why you do that. Now, sure, we have it in Gusto, but if that's the manager setup, that's the manager setup. Like, we need to deal with that. I feel like Kai who? Not sure. Why don't we just go back to Enzo and Cucurella starting? Don't know. The attack let us down tonight. I agree. Then we will always lose against Man United. No, because we didn't lose today. We draw. But we will never win at Man United. No, we will eventually. I'm sure. But the reason why we will win, in my opinion, will not be that one day, randomly, out of nowhere, we will one day just play them off the park. That will not happen. And absolutely kill them. I don't think that will happen. If we win there at some point over the next few years, it will be with a game where things go our way, where we either score a ridiculous goal, to be honest, a bit like we did today, get a penalty, they get an early red card, something like that. It will be like a crazy something going our way that will make us win that game, if anything. If Maresca thinks his Leicester tactics are all he needed for the... He's doing way more. I think you need... If you think this is all Maresca did in the Championship, you need to do more research. So I blame the manager. Obvious comment. Yeah, obvious. I feel like we need to change in tactics. Good managers win by reinventing the wheel, not being Pep clones. Pep was successful because of his innovation despite City struggles currently. I agree with this, Romani, but where you're all wrong, and I'm sorry, bro, you're very wrong here, is that you think a manager needs to change his tactics 3 months into the season. we haven't even seen how the tactics like work when they work. This is the same shit we saw when Sarri was here. People were like, oh, I need to change his tactics, doing the same thing every time. Shit, fuck Sarri, ball, fuck Jorginho, let's boo everyone. But what you needed to do is give it more time. Just like Pep, just like Klopp, just like any other top manager ever, takes a little bit of time to get their systems to work. Except people that are pragmatic managers. Jose Mourinho, Thomas Tuchel, those kind of managers that focus on defensive stability first and then try to hit on the break, try to like beat the team by exposing weaknesses off the ball. We try to expose weaknesses on the ball, with exceptions. Like you look, for example, people can't say we're doing the same thing every game, because look at the Brighton game. Do you feel that we played the same way against Brighton as we did against Nottingham Forest, for example? Like against Crystal Palace, we had Caicedo playing as a centre-back to adapt to how Crystal Palace pressed. Like we are doing tactically different things week in, week out. I don't understand why people are not seeing this. I feel that starting 6 defensive players is negative. I don't care if Gusto is number 10. Okay. Fair enough. Give more time to slow build up and not work in inverted fullbacks. Yes. Because yes, literally, yes, that's exactly what you need to do. We will win when we lose the idea of losing or drawing at Old Trafford. It will be because players want to and without ghosts from the past. So what happened in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th year of this curse, when there wasn't really a curse that no one talked about because it hadn't been that long since we lost? Why didn't we win then? You know what I mean? Think about it. You know, history doesn't dictate the future and the present. Absolutely. But history does dictate the past. And if you're saying, well, it shouldn't, why did it? You know? I mean, that's true, maybe. Not change, but be too stubborn to adapt. If he does that, he could easily guide Chelsea. But he is adapting. Like I say, we had Caicedo as centre-back in some games. Now, for the large majority of this season so far, we played Enzo Fernandez as a 10 and then inverting fullback into midfield. Now, since Lavia is back fit, we've inverted the fullback into attacking mid and had a midfield pivot of actual midfielders. We're playing Reece James. Like, you can't say we're not doing tactically things differently. Like I find that strange. I don't care about the tactics for today. It didn't work. No, today it didn't work. But today we got a draw at Man United, which is not the worst result in the world. Like, what do you think? Like, should Pep now just get sacked because he didn't get his tactics right against Bournemouth? Should he now reevaluate everything he's ever done because he lost to Bournemouth? Or the same goes for Arteta because they lost to Newcastle? Is that how it goes? Like, you lose a game, you don't play well in a game or two? Like, did you guys really think that when we had a decent start to the season, got some good wins on the bounce, scored some goals, that it would just continue like that for the rest of the season? That we would just continuously be better every single game? Is that what you guys thought? Because if you guys thought that, I'm sorry, then your current sadness is not on the manager. Then your current sadness is on nothing other than yourself. Because, I'm sorry, if you didn't clock how this kind of season goes when you make such a dramatic change, that Chelsea, or by being further into whatever we're doing, are still very early into whatever we're doing, and that it wouldn't just be a continuous improvement, and that you'd have good games, you'd have bad games, you do 2 steps forward, you do a step back, you do 1 step forward, you do maybe 2 steps back. It happens. Like, this is football. That's how teams grow. We're not Man City. We don't like when, and Maresca is certainly not Pep Guardiola. Like that. Like, give things a little bit of time, guys. This is so similar to Newcastle midweek too. That's the bad part of it. Sure, but 11 different players, and also actually, I think the game was completely different to the Newcastle game. Even when you look at the stats, like against Newcastle, we lost the ball by playing it out from the back countless times. Today, that happened like once or twice. Because United just set up completely differently. So there's really very few similarities. Also, the way United defended and the way United attacked, so different to anything Newcastle did. And also, in the last game, we played a different formation. Like, because in the last game, we had Cucurella and Vega as 2 at number 8 in midfield, with Enzo Fernandez as the base of a midfield 3. So they would play the midfield 2 and the 4 in front of it. Like, no. Yeah. You just complained about Newcastle. Did you not see Sanchez did you not see Jurgensen against Newcastle? Would you have been happy with Jurgensen today? But some basics are wrong. For example, why not drop Madueke playing Nkunku on the left? Because we've seen Nkunku on the left, and he's shit. I mean, he's shit anywhere at the moment. But he's especially shit when he has to be wide. He's really bad at that. Like, really bad. So, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Sorry to keep bringing this point up, but do you think the lack of experience cost us? I think the way we've built our team is flawed. Yeah, 100%. 1,000% is experiencing costing us every week. That's what happens. Right. As if Madueke hasn't played every single game that Parma has played. What? I'm baffled. But yeah, Nkunku's just bad on the left. That's why he shouldn't be like. That's why that's not happening. I mean, I agree. Drop Madueke. It's fair. But then play Neto on the right and Mudryk on the left. But the problem is today Sancho wasn't available, so therefore that makes our winger options, obviously that limits them because you have one less to choose from. That doesn't, I would say Young. But did you just ignore the Newcastle game? Because I thought Sanchez was absolutely brilliant outside of the penalty game away, to be fair. When Madueke plays, Palmer rarely sees the ball. Wrong? What do you mean wrong? How many Premier League games did Madueke not start this season? I'm just saying. The Gusto-Madueke partnership make it worse for Madueke. Yeah, I agree with that. If anything, today and also against Newcastle, Parma played further away from Madueke than ever before, and that's where Madueke had his worst games in a while. Because Parma against Newcastle at home and today played in their left pocket. Well, usually plays in the right pocket. You know? Just saying. No, I didn't say that. But I'm saying if they play together every game and Parma has been phenomenal most games, clearly it's not Madueke that makes Parma worse. Because that just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, at the end of the day, that's it. we got a draw. This is exactly why I hate this kind of result in this kind of game, because you get a result away at Old Trafford. Like, remember the Jose days when the Jose philosophy was at the top, at the big four, big six. If you get a point, if you don't lose, you've done all right. At home, you need to make sure you beat them. Now, we haven't done that yet, but at home, we've only beaten played City of the big teams. And Newcastle, to be fair, we did beat, even if they're not quite in the top six, obviously. I miss Netflix. I don't. Because I watched them. No, I didn't actually watch them together on Thursday, but I watched them on Thursday the week beforehand. So you start Madueke over Neto when Sancho is back. No, that's what I'm saying. So then it depends on who's in better form. I don't think Madueke is in great form right now. So then when Sancho is available, I'd start Neto on the left. You could have made a case for today for starting Neto on the right and Mudryk on the left. Absolutely. But then realistically, Mudryk would probably have been pretty average, and then everybody would have slated Maresca for not starting Madueke. You know, it's how it goes. It's a catch-22. You're not going to be happy with whatever he does. You're going to criticize whatever he does in hindsight, I think. Unless we win. But we didn't win. So no matter what he would have done, you would have criticized it. And I don't think that change would have changed the outcome of the game, personally. Joel says, hi, Laurenz. Got it today. Noni was poor. I agree. Noni was poor. Gusto was poor. Sanchez and Fofana were poor for that penalty. Frustrating. But guys, I'm going to round this one out. I appreciate you all for tuning in today. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. That would be massively appreciated. Check out mine and Pice's podcast. Link is down in the description as always. Of course, there will be a new episode of Chelsea Unfiltered on Tuesday. We will be recording it, I think, tomorrow. We haven't agreed on that yet, but I assume we're going to record tomorrow. And that will be uploaded on Tuesday for you to check out. Links are down in the description for Spotify, for Apple Podcasts. So please check those out. Follow us on there. Give us a 5-star rating. I'd massively appreciate that. Maybe we need to change to a 4-1-2-3, to be honest. We're not, like, whether you think that or not, on the ball, we're not going to play a back four. We're not going to do it. And very few players do it nowadays. As bad as Enzo is most games, we lack creativity when he's not there. But didn't we also say we lack creativity when he did play? That's what I'm saying. Spread the love, people. This is what I agree with. Puzzle Life TV. This is the message to end the stream with. Spread the love. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very, very much to everybody that has stayed until the end. I appreciate you all very much. Like I say, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea, upwards and onwards. And I will see you next time.